Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get on some of our winter projects. We had 3 inches of snow last night. Them are some of the machines that are scheduled to come in. We're going to start putting this transmission in at 2182. There's nothing really wrong with that 2182. I just don't have a fast reverse, but when we get up to it, I'll explain a little bit further. 882 didn't do it on film yesterday, but did put a gear reduction starter in it. Made a night and day difference of the machine cranking over. I didn't do it on video because it was my first one I ever put in. Wasn't the worst job I ever did. I did pull the radiator when I did this one because I wanted to get it up a little bit further to get them bolts out of the block. But it worked out really well. Used the starter that was off a Kubota excavator, put it right on it, fit right on with no issue. Right there was a direct drive. You can see that starter right there. Was replaced at one time. I already took the tunnel off this machine. I don't have fast reverse. I've adjusted this control rod right here. I changed the valves and I still can't make enough pressure. Now this machine here, brought it in over the summer, came out of a hedgerow. It's been sitting for quite a few years. The manifold was busted right off in the machine. But it still ran, even with the hood off in it, it still ran, and it ran very well. One Sunday afternoon, I decided that I'm going to put a jump pack on it, see if I can get it to crank fired right up with a fresh gas. So I was pretty happy about that. Put new plastic on it, kind of like this machine to keep it around my collection. 2182 has the gas version of that 882, that 600 Kubota motor. I prefer the gas over the diesel just because of the starting issues being in the north, but I'm pretty happy with this machine. If everything works out, I'm going to put 3-point hitch on it, and I am going to moldboard plow with this machine. But today we're going to start out, we already have that cover off there to describe our issue. We're going to pull the wheels off first, then we're going to pull the seat, which the seat is one of the most difficult things in this project to do. And then we're going to pull the fenders, and then we're going to do the floor pans. And them floor pans there are in pretty good shape, but I do have a set when I reassemble it that are a little bit shinier that I'm going to put on it. Now we're going to do this unedited like most of our videos. I'm going to put you in a stand. The first thing we're going to do, we already have jack stands on the underneath it right in that area on the cross member side. I'll show you that. Right there's the jack stands right there. That's how I support them. I choke the wheels on it, and we're going to take the wheels off first, and I'll show you why you want to take the wheels off. Then you have a lot more room to take the fenders off. It'll make your job a lot simpler by all means. It's going to take a 3/4 to take the wheels off. This isn't the worst job. I've had a lot of people contact me and say, you're going to change a transmission in that machine? I said, it really isn't that bad. I did so many of them. Actually, a super is easier to change the transmission in than a regular spread frame like that 882, in my opinion. They give you a lot more room to work, and it just works out a lot better. When you take the wheels off, you can see you just have so much more room to work. I'll go to the other side and take that wheel off, and then I'll be back on that side in a minute. So now we're going to take these bolts off in this area right here. They're internal hex. On the front, they have a nut on the bottom. On the rear, they don't. One thing you want to make sure you do is have your seat so it goes back and forth. You can see I put quite a lot of lubrication on it to make sure when you're in the seat, you can adjust it a lot easier. But you want to make sure you take your front bolts off first, and you use the hex in a 1/2 inch. I'll take this side off first, and then I'll give you a little bit more of a heads up when we get over to the other side how I do it. Now, when you reassemble these, make sure you rethread them, because these have a tendency to burr up, and when you're putting your seat back on, you want it to be as easy a process as you can. I'll show you them bolts as soon as I get this one off. Now, I dropped the nut right there, but I'll show you. You can see there the internal bolts, hex. Now, I rethreaded this because actually this is not the set of fenders that came on this machine. In the beginning, I put it together, didn't realize I had such an issue. I had a little bit faster reverse in the beginning of this machine, and then it started to get a little bit weaker. So I'm not sure if I had an issue, but the hydraulics on the rock shaft, they work very well. And you want to put the seat up again. And I'll move the camera. And you have a bolt there, and you have a bolt right there. Them are, I don't want the camera to tip over. Them are threaded right into the support that holds the fuel tank, so you can take them right out. It's not any big deal. I'm going to take my extension off. Now, if I remember right, none of the electronics are hooked up. They're all wired together on this machine. And I am correct, they wired them all together, so all the safety switches are gone. So now our fenders are going to be loose there. So I'm going to unhook that's the fuel gauge wire. I'm going to take the fuel cap off, and we're going to take on the floorboards, it's going to take a 7/16, and I will drop you right down and you take a look. We're going to take them bolts off right there on the floorboard, and that will be able to pull the fenders right off. They're not quite as easy as like an 82 series. I'm going to take these floor rubber mats right off. They're 1/4-inch bolts on the bottom. So you take a 7/16. And I will get that. It's a little tight down in that area right there. I might have to go get a wrench, and I am going to have to get a wrench. I was hoping I could use a ratchet to get them loose, but move the camera over to the other side. Nut just flew across the floor. So you probably will have to get more hardware to put these back together. When I salvage my machines, I keep all my great hardware that's nice and shiny. I'll show you Them are actually, that's pretty shiny bolt right there compared to what came out of that originally. These are on the side pieces to hold the hydraulics in on a 82 series. I save all them 1/4 inch bolts. Now we're going to lift the fenders. The worst portion is getting the wires through here. You want to go nice and slow. You don't want to damage your harness. Now we're right onto the fuel tank area right there. I'm going to put the fuel cap back on. Now, the next thing we're going to do is take the floor pans off here. You can see I have a little bit of rust on these. I don't think they prime them when they put them on, to be honest with you. Takes their 5/16 bolt. It's going to take a 1/2 inch to do it. Actually, I'll use this and missing that. Oh, there's a 1/2 inch. Now these come off pretty hard right here, so let's hope that we can get it. If they stick a little bit, I'll use new hardware anyways. Take the nut off, and usually they'll come right off a little simpler. So there's a floor pan. I will replace that. This is your brake activator right here. I'm not going to unhook any of this area right here when I do the transmission swap, but we're going to do that on a different video. To the other side, we'll take the floor pan off, or on that side. Then we're only in this about 12 minutes right now, so we'll probably take off the fuel tank. We'll see if them valves will shut off. If not, I'm just going to cut the line and put new line on. Now, when I changed this fenders off, I did not change the floor pans at that time, and I see there's a bolt missing right here. So obviously they've been off at one time. So now we're on to the fuel tank. We have plenty of time. We'll take the fuel tank off, and we'll take this stand off right here. We're going to shut the fuel off first. Fuel wasn't already all the way on this side. Huh. Well, when we put it back together, we'll make sure the fuel is already all the way on. Go to the other side. Shut this one off. This one was all the way on. So what I'm going to do is, on this, I am going to cut that fuel line right here as close as I can, so I can reuse this hose if the fuel line is still good. So I'll move you over there. We're going to take the fuel tank right off. Doesn't look like I have a lot of fuel in it. Now the fuel tank is off. Move that off to the side. There was quite a lot of fuel in it. Now we're on to this stand right here. Some of these have nuts on the bottom. I think this one does not, the way it feels. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch to do that also, and take that stand right off. Now I use a long extension. Well, this side we won't. No, it does have nuts on the bottom. I couldn't quite tell. No, that does not have nuts on it. This side here does. Oh yes, they have nuts on them. Couldn't see them. They're tucked in there so far you can't even imagine. Some do, some don't. There, it's on. We're gonna put new bolts in there anyways when we put that together. Okay. Okay, that one's out. For some reason, that has a larger nut on it that's 9/16. Get a 1/2 inch. I have to tie my shoe came untied. For some reason, somebody put it's a 5/16 nut, but it has a hex on it that's 9/16. This one here is 1/2 inch. So this machine has definitely been a part before. And we're going to feed that down through here like this. Now, one thing nice about a Cyclops, you don't have to remove this dipstick out of there. They'll pull right out of there. Now, you take a battery tray on an 82 series, you have to take the dipstick out to pull this tray out. Obviously, on an 82 series, this is where the battery goes, but... So there we are. This video didn't go as smooth as normal, but you're never going to know what you're going to get into when you're dismantling these machines. Not everything's going to go perfectly. Not everything's going to go fast. When you're doing them unedited, you just never know what you're going to get into. But now you know the real day how everything procedure goes. I'm going to remove this cover here. This transmission here is a lot cleaner than I expected. And I'm going to get the fluids drained and get them flushed, and then we'll get the other transmission in. Thank you so much for watching Macland Cadet. Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Apologize this video didn't go as smooth as usual, but we'll get you on the next one.